All right, we are live. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your blessings, Lord. We just ask that you be with this group today as they make decisions for the county in the best interest of the county. Dear Lord, just be with each and every one of us and forgive us for our sins. Give us where it failed you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. As we start with the visitors forum, at this time, any person with business before the court not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Ms. Summers.
I watched the video from last week, and there was a gentleman here, I think his name was Bill Brown, that thanked the court for keeping a tight budget and asked y'all to put money into savings in case there was a catastrophe like C-19 again. Little did he know that the court has already decided not to put $500,000 into the next budget for the emergency reserve fund. Most of you up there think that that means the budget will be cut $500,000, and that is not true. That $500 is currently being dispersed among other departments. It is about up to 390-something thousand so far. We shall see after today where the rest of that money is dispersed to. But that gentleman, I informed him that the court is not cutting the budget, nor are they putting money into the reserve fund for 2024. Thank you.
Oh, Melanie. Okay, does anybody else have business that is not on the agenda to discuss? Okay. Court to discuss and consider an inter-precinct project schedule and staffing.
You think it through, so let my guy back.
Oh, I doubt it.
We've already postponed a week, so see what this week, end of this week brings.
Got one out in precinct 4 and water truck.
I think I have one at precinct 4 too.
Ready? Okay. Court discuss and consider the interlocal agreement with SISD in regards to the baseball fields. I have not had a chance to speak to anybody over there about that. Is there anything that any of you have thought about that you would request from school district, or do you want to wait and come back to this another day?
Really like the pay and a half. I mean,
Okay.
I think we're paying it all now. They still get the proceeds from their concessions.
Okay.
Well, they don't have the manpower to take over the fields.
Right.
We're still going to have to do that.
Okay.
I talked to Lance, which this is just us talking. We feel like they should pay at least half the improvements that we do. Because he was talking, they're going to need a backstop in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
At least they can pay half of that. They can pay half or pay the electricity bill during their baseball and softball season.
Okay.
If we take care of the fields, then we can control the water that goes on. So I don't see any reason to put meters in. That would save a little bit on them too.
About 20 grand for winter.
Yeah, a piece.
Yeah.
He did get back to me on that.
The other thing was talking about is what they paint, fertilize, the seeding, chalk and all that, they can pay half of the bill on that too. And if they want to overseed or paint the grass, before it gets green, then we feel like they should pay 100% of that.
Overseeing, I have to be here, fertilizer, I have to build in here, like, take some off too. Continue to take care of the field, but water is not gonna be a big deal.
And, on this, it says they agree to pay $5,000. If they do all that, then that's going to be including that 5,000. So I don't know if we'll do that in there or not, but that's just something we were talking about. I mean,
How did you want to do the scheduling, Lance? Did y'all want to do that or with school?
Either way, we're fine with them. Because if they schedule it, then they cover working the games for them. They pay their guys overtime to work those games. So if we schedule it and we host it, then we have to cover that, so.
this is something we talked about. I mean, it's starting anyway.
Okay, so half of any of the improvements,
Yes.
electric bill during the season,
Yeah, and what did you say it was from like February to?
February through May.
okay. What about on tournament, or not tournament, the playoffs? Do those go into June at all? It's all in
A
May?
little bit, but not typically.
Okay. Okay, and then half on the seating and chalking,
Yeah, I think,
or seating and chalk?
if the school wants it overseeded
Mhm.
or painted with pigment, because it's only dormant for like a month during the season.
Mhm.
The leagues don't benefit from that. We feel like maybe the school should pay for that to be done
Okay,
if they want it overseeded or painted.
okay. All right. But the chalk and, normal seating, not regulars, or not overseeding, half of that, but 100% of the overseeding and painting of the field.
Yes, sir.
Okay, am I missing anything on that?
Part of that list that you had the other day that I still haven't got a copy of, I'd like to look at. You had some that y'all already discussed on another list on your tablet that you brought, mentioned the court.
That was out of that contract that I gave you a copy of. Is there anything else on that you want me to pick up?
That's about all we came up with so far.
And so you'd rather this direction than, leasing the fields out, or a long-term lease?
Well, we just go to, I don't know how long term, but we just go to at least, or whatever with that.
Okay, we really
I ain't
need
even
to,
thought about
yeah.
the agreement yet. So.
Okay. Lance, you sent me that it would be, what, about 3,000 for the,
3 to 5.
3,000 to 5,000 for the water meter, if we went that direction. Okay, anything else you want to add on there? Okay, I'll take that too then. We need that in the form of a motion.
I would say just no action, actually, because then when
There's
you,
no contract.
right, when you get ready to get it actually in full, then we'll do the motion in order to approve it as presented.
Okay. Well, I hope that he would be on there by now. All right, moving on to new business, court to discuss and consider a resolution in support of Remo's UAN facility to be located in Scurry County through a grant application to the Department of Energy. Remo is a company that is new. They're applying for a grant to, through the Department of Energy to build a urea ammonium nitrate plant. So
Not out of the conventional stuff.
not out of conventional, right? So it wouldn't be built, it wouldn't be made out of natural gas. They would use another process. These are the slides. They said that RE is the crude oil of the 21st century. The first product is ammonia. All the crops in the world are fertilized with ammonia or its derivatives. NH3 is used for farming in the US each year, 12 million tons, mostly on corn, but on cotton as well. And nitrogen is typically the first or second largest cost input to the farm. Today, ammonia is made from natural gas and air, which releases 2.5 tons of CO2 for every ton of ammonia produced. Remo will make green ammonia from just renewable electricity, water, and air. So they won't be using natural gas at all. Doing it this way, it makes it more stable. The only time that the only issue they would have with it would be is if there was an ammonia leak at the plant, is my understanding. It is not explosive. The dry compound is what is explosive, and they will at no time have the dry.
No, what I understood, it will be encapsulated in water.
Okay.
Is what I understood.
Okay.
Which makes its volatility basically probably not null and void, but narrow.
Right. Okay. So what they're looking at is they're applying for a grant with the Department of Energy, and they're wanting this came through DCOS to us, and they asked us to invite everybody. So we invited all the entities, and sat in here, and they came and discussed what they were doing. So, and what they're looking at. So they're looking at a plant out by Dermot. Their one concern is water. They're still having to work on that. But they're looking at $250 to $300 million facility, 30 full-time jobs with an average annual wage of $60,000 each. They're wanting to be a partner in Scurry County with this. This is the initial first blush. They're just getting started. So the funding opportunity was announced through DOE February 13th. Concept papers were due on March 21st. In June, the 15th of June, they were encouraged to do a full application. Their full application is due August 11th. In November, they'll let everybody know who won the grant. If they do get it, the negotiations for the awards will be in 2024. Second half of 2025 and the first half of 2026 is when they would be up and running. They're not asking for any donations, money, anything right now, other than a support letter from each of the entities showing that we do want them to come to Scurry County, or that we do want them to apply for the grant to come to Scurry County and utilize and build this facility.
And that's what I understood is the support letter will help them get that grant.
Correct. Yeah. They sent, I'm hoping to be on here. They put together a slide that shows the UAN they're putting together and what typical UAN is. Ammonium nitrate is the danger with that. It's solid ammonium nitrate. It can decompose into O2 and H2O. The reaction, once started, is violent and leads to explosion, like in West Texas. Responsible for almost all significant accidents in the fertilizers industry. Vast majority vast majority occurred in the storage and transportation of AN, not in the manufacturing plant. The cryogenic storage of anhydrous ammonia can lead to vapor and liquid leaks in case of accidents. Liquid leaks will contaminate the environment and groundwater. Vapors are toxic and their release can lead to evacuation in case of massive accidents. All accidents occurred in local storage and transportation. E.g. a pipeline rupture in Kingman, Kansas, 2004. With what they're doing, there's no solid ammonium nitrate generated anywhere in Remo's proposed facility. No cryogenic anhydrous ammonia generated anywhere in the proposed facility. And it doesn't create a community safety risk. Safe manufacturing inputs of water, CO2, and electricity. And they're talking about partnering with Kinder Morgan to get their CO2. All process loops are taken from traditional chemical manufacturing. Hydrogen and anhydrous ammonia exist only in transition and are not stored in bulk. They said it's not, you won't have the big tanks like you have here of anhydrous ammonia. The final product, UAN, is a water-based liquid stored at room temperature in plastic tanks. I guess that's an example of it there, the plastic tanks. In fact, UAN is routinely mixed with irrigation water for direct application to crops and fields. What am I missing, Sean?
Nothing other than the reason they're looking at Dermot is they want to be, it's gonna take lots of electricity for this.
They were using all renewable electricity.
Yes, and they want to be close to a substation. And they need access to, rail.
All the ammonia, all of this product would be used locally as well. So here in Lubbock for the cotton.
Yes,
and
that's what I understood, and any excess would go to Midwest.
right.
The water being the main issue is going to take 400 gallons a minute to complete. And I mean, anybody that's lived there very long knows there's not any artesian wells in Vermont. You know, that's going to be an issue. But as far as the safety factor, it is 99% safe.
Right. And the reason they're wanting to come to this location is because of the infrastructure that we have in place and that we're putting into place with the wind farms, the solar, the batteries. That was the big draw for them.
Yes, and that and the substations we have.
Right.
And Dermont's 3.
Yeah, I think so. When they fire it up, once it gets going, it will be, it won't be competing with cities and towns as far as getting electricity. It'd be used during non-peak hours is when they would create the UAN. So what they're requesting is a letter of support from each of the entities. I've given you a copy of that. So if you want to look over that. Ms. Summers?
I have a couple of things to say about this. Anything is safe until it is not. Also, a few years ago, Commissioner Williams stated in a meeting in this courtroom that no businesses would come here because there is no water. I would like to know what has changed.
Well, you would have to ask him directly. He's not here, so he can't respond to your question. I don't know what you're talking about as far as that question goes. But yes, ma'am? I didn't get your name. Sorry.
Is it okay to comment on this right now, or need to wait?
Yeah, if you filled out the form, yes, ma'am, you can comment.
You want me to comment on both subjects, the windmill and the plant, or we'll do them separate?
We're talking about the UAN facility, so.
Can I just run this all together and say all this that I need to say? I grew up here.
Sure.
My name's Teresa Sterling. I was born in Scurry County in 58. My mom and dad started a cotton farm after Daddy came up from 2. Senior year, I did my term paper on this that's going on right now. Destroying the land, destroying the air, destroying the water, and it's happening. And it's happening by humans. I know a little bit of airplanes. I was based at O'Hare in Chicago as a flight attendant with American out of O'Hare. My ex-husband was a captain. We know about airplanes. When I saw 4 years ago, I got home at Thanksgiving here in Scurry County, and the sky was hammered with streaks. This has been going on a long time. My dad came in 72, I was an 8th grader, and said to my mother, he never cussed, they're down seeing the clouds again, trying to control things. Humans shouldn't be controlling all this. Scurry County doesn't have a drop of water to add to anything. We all know that. Trying to create this, the brainwashing that has gone on with the whole cabal, the entire world, every government is trying to destroy all their little towns. Anything that has a railroad, oh, here we go, we got that going. Oh, oops, we had an accident, it wipes out people. They are trying to herd people into little things, and we're heading towards communism, and people need to wake up. Our governments in every country, I don't have a TV of 7 years. I watch world news. They think the United States is a joke because we have the worst corruption. When it comes to children, I have to hear it to keep my license of 8 years now. I did a lot of digging. It's sickening. The world is all backwards here. The Lord decides when it rains and all this crap. And y'all don't get it that they're trying to, Snyder's not pretty like it used to be. Gang markings, meth houses, one burned out by IRA. They're always by schools. They're always by universities. It's going like this. And you think the cabal of the whole world doesn't see that? They see it. The state walked in, how many years ago now? 4, I think, here in Snyder. I got that news as soon as I moved home. I'm building a house. Oh, gee. Oh, wow. Then I get some more news. Then I see the gang markings. Then I see, I live in Chicago. I live down by Miami.
Okay, we're way off.
No,
subject.
this
We're
shouldn't
talking about a
happen
UAN
here. This
facility.
shouldn't happen, and you
Okay,
know
so
that.
that's what you're saying is that you don't agree with the UAN.
None
facility.
of it.
Okay, thank you.
The spray is to destroy the people, the planet. We don't have jackrabbits anymore. We
Okay,
don't have
thank you.
any.
Appreciate
They're
your comments.
spraying the entire
Ma'am?
earth.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me
Appreciate your
say that,
comments.
but you need to wake up to the brainwashing.
Thank you for your
The
comments.
governments of all the countries are destroying the people. Oh,
Okay,
sorry, we
so-
gotta take your land. It didn't rain.
Thank you,
when
ma'am.
we
We
needed.
appreciate your comments. They're wanting to use salt water, underground water, instead of taking water from the city or from, county or any of us, any of the well water. Salt water is what they're looking at. And they would process that water, desalinate that water, there, and, that's where their water is, where they're discussing the water. And so they're trying to figure out where that would come from, if they would be able to, if there is underground salt water in that area.
Well, that's, test wells is a little bit way to find out.
Yeah, it did send them information on, hydrologists, that DCOS provided as well. So that's another area. So right now, it's basically just beginning stages. They're applying for a grant. They've got a short window of opportunity to apply for that, and they're requesting a letter of support from Scurry County. I see this as, we have built it and now they're starting to come. The renewables that have been come into this county is the reason why they're coming in, and they're thinking that others will come as well. So,
I don't see, why it would hurt. So they ain't asking for nothing but a support letter,
mhm.
and that doesn't mean they're gonna get it. That doesn't mean they're not gonna get the grant. We won't know until this fall.
Correct.
But, I understand that lady's point.
Mhm.
what people need to remember here is the landowners can do with their land what they see fit. And, anything, just like the wind farms, solar farms, Scurry County has $0 invested, but it benefits us financially. And, you know, the landowners, if they, you know, that's gonna be this company's next hoop to jump through is finding the land, okay? We won't have anything to do with it. It's up to the landowner. So, I don't have an issue with it, I really don't.
Do you have any?
My biggest deal is the water, and if it is salt water, that's a whole other ballgame, but I don't wanna take a chance on my biggest concern is our fresh water. It's very limited.
Yeah, they said, they specifically stated that they would build a desalinization plant in there to use salt water.
What I understood is they would really rather have salt water.
Right.
So, I didn't understand exactly why, but, you know, parts of this county, there's an ocean of salt water.
Yep.
And,
Ocean of it getting injected back in the ground, so.
evaporation pits, that's what they're gonna put with what comes out. Like Kennerwood does. It basically be the same. They use the water for the cooling, and they make this green fertilizer somehow. But,
Ms. Summers, did you have another question?
Well, I think you said something about Scurry County doesn't have any skin in the game or what.
We don't own the properties. We can't tell property owners what to do with their property.
Millions of dollars every year to abatements, not just Scurry
They're
County.
not asking for an abatement, they're
Not
asking for a
yet,
support
not yet.
letter.
Not yet, but we lose millions of dollars every year. It's proven in the financial audit, it's stated in writing how much Scurry County loses each year in taxes.
It actually doesn't state that Scurry County loses money in the audit. It doesn't state that anywhere. It states how much we receive in the audit, just for clarification.
Thank
It's
you.
your interpretation of reading the audit.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Not much, how
Okay,
much.
any more
y'all
discussion by the court?
see. Tax payments are coming.
Could we table this so I can better into this? I mean, this is the first time I've seen any of this.
I understand. They are needing it by the 11th. We can, I guess we could come back to it on the 1st. If you really want to table it. They're just asking for a letter of support for the grant though. That's basically it. But if you would like to, we can.
I would, that's up to everybody else, but.
If we still got time to come back, let's just do that.
Okay.
We'll come back at the 11th.
Yep.
That way it'll give us both time to kind of go, we just got this today, so I'd like to look at it a little more.
me and Dan was in the meeting, we couldn't have nobody else go to the court.
Right.
So,
All right, yeah, we will, bring this back on August 1st.
The first,
Yes. And, we'll give you his contact information so you can contact him.
When do they have to have this?
The application is due by the 11th. So we do have a little bit of time. All right, court to discuss and consider the cloud seeding project through the Rolling Plains Weather Modification Program. Sean?
we got Lindy Patton and Jimmy McMillan that is the ones that, Lindy is the overseer of it. Jimmy's a support group, I guess. We approved it last year for cloud seeding, and it is a year-to-year deal. because that's what we did last year. We budget 25,000, I believe, for that. And this year it's gonna be, unless something changes, half or less. Because if we paid 2 invoices, I believe.
Yeah, but we're going through October,
Well,
possibly.
depending on what those conditions are like.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
We're hoping, but it'll probably be right, I'm guessing, right under that amount budget.
Total.
Kind of all the other counties are kind of working toward it. If we can continue, if we have opportunity, it'll be less if things just get where there's no, like right now, it's not real good, but no clouds, but, they're on track with what was budgeted.
So that's the reason I put it on there, because it has to be approved. Whether to do it again or not, by Commissioner's Court, because it does not have its own budget line.
Correct. It's in the non-departmental.
Yes. And for the, me and Jimmy McMillan's had this conversation. There's no way to know whether it worked or it works, if it helps or it don't help. So there's that.
There it is. How do you find that out?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of data, there's years and years of data that's independent. The licensing out of the state of Texas, they've got like 40 years of data on it. I mean, it appears to enhance if, you still got, the good Lord has to provide the
Right.
opportunities
Opportunity.
and all that, but, it doesn't make, it doesn't make it rain. It
Right.
just helps. A lot of times we don't have the ice crystals in the clouds when there's some moisture, and this allows that opportunity when it's good. And I think, I thought this year started out great. I think it really helped in May, and he had some other pilot, Gary Walker, it's his operation. He talked, probably Scurry County had more going on than over on the eastern or northern side of the area, but he talked about, I think, a couple of clouds he said had hail in it, but he thought he was able to suppress the hail, which, we don't mind that. So, but since then, we got out of middle of June or whatever, it's we've got this high pressure dome, and until that, all the weather, our meteorologists say that, El Nino's back, but it hadn't really materialized, but
Right.
hopefully doesn't look good for the next couple of weeks or so, but never know.
Right. Okay.
I think El Nino went on vacation. Anyway, that is the reason it's on the agenda.
All right, so what's your pleasure?
We did it last year. And, if it works, everybody benefits. If it, ain't gonna get into work or not,
Right.
but,
Can you get a full picture in the spring or a year?
I don't think so, because what Mr. Patton said, end of May, 1st of June,
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't cut it off, and now it's cut off.
I say I think we ought to continue with it or do it, try it for another year. So,
Let motion.
your motion, yeah, that's my motion. I make the motion, we continue the cloud seeding project through the Rolling Plains Weather Modification Program.
Second.
All in favor? Lindy and Jamie, thank you both for coming. We appreciate y'all. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Keep praying.
Absolutely.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Let's go ahead and, do line item transfers and budget amendments.
There's only one, and it actually wasn't supposed to be in here, but we'll do it since it's here. It's Road and Bridge, it's line item transfer for precinct 4, maintenance and repair, 5,000 out of machine power. We don't have any payments today.
No budget amendment to you?
Nope.
Keep
We weren't
going,
planning on doing
we'll
this
do
today.
another one.
Yeah, we'll do it next week. This is the different meeting.
I make motion to approve line item transfer.
Clear.
All in favor? All right, court discuss and consider items and amounts in each line of the upcoming 2024 county budget, including possible votes on individual budget lines and items, and whether amounts or items should be included in or excluded from the budget. First thing, go over some of the good things that we did so far. Emergency management coordinator was, that the department was removed, and we put 50,000 in non-departmental, to pay half of that along with the city, if we come to an agreement on that. Non-departmental, no funds into emergency reserve fund. We're gonna use pilot payments to put that towards the emergency reserve fund. And that's where the 50,000 is for the emergency management coordinator. Parks, we moved the road materials to Fund 29 instead of out of their budget. It would come out of the permanent improvements budget. Next thing, I'd like to go back to the extension office for just a moment. You all know we lost Greg. Greg was our county coordinator, did a great job. Since then, AgriLife has appointed Rhonda as our county coordinator. I don't know if you were aware of that or not, but yes. Effective Monday, July 10th. This is straight from Michael Clausen. Effective Monday, July 10th, 2023, Rhonda White has been designated as county coordinator for the Scurry County Extension Office by AgriLife. I believe that she deserves that, and she's done us a great job. Having said this, the stipends were different. What the county paid towards their salaries was different. Greg's was $18,847.31. Rhonda's is $12,201.65. Since Rhonda's going to be the county coordinator and she's going to have more responsibilities as the county coordinator, I think that we should plot those in. If we approve, I think our contract says that we have 2 agents here in Scurry County. They're requesting that we, if we are in support of announcing the county extension agent position in Scurry County, that we let them know that. So, how long have we had 2? Do you know, Rhonda?
Forever, I think.
Yeah,
Forever?
we've had it for 2 for, yes, a very
Yeah.
long time.
So, I don't know why we would go from 2 to 1, especially, okay, yeah, so, yeah, right. So, the new one, personal opinion, y'all tell me if it's different. I think since Rhonda's gonna be the coordinator, that she should get the benefit of that. We're not increasing the amount of money, it's the same budget, but I think that she should get the 18,000, and whoever the new one that it is that comes in should get the 12,000.
That's how it happens.
Is that how it
All the
works
rest of
anyway?
the departments is if you move somebody up to department head, they get that pay of that position.
Exactly,
And then the new person that comes in gets the pay of the
right,
position that was moved out of. That's what's gonna happen in my office. Karen will move to first assistant, she'll get paid first assistant.
right,
My new person will get paid, assistant.
absolutely. And AgriLife does not, they're agents across the board. Whether they're county coordinator, as far as they're concerned, they don't get any more money from AgriLife. So,
Well, I think she should.
Okay.
Let's, they do lots down there.
and she's about to do a whole lot more.
But she's gonna feed us too.
Yes, Yeah, on 15th.
That's really so, well, somebody, so.
Yeah.
That ain't over, you're gonna be short on those.
No, real quick, so since this has already taken effect, normally we would go ahead and start at this point, the new pay. I don't know, we may have to revisit this on the first,
We may have to.
because it's not
It's not an
an
agenda.
item, but it is something we need to do on next Tuesday.
All right, just wanted to, and that's the only reason I wanted to do it, because, yes. I don't, do you want, does AgriLife need to be revisited, the budget?
The COLA,
COLA,
that was the question on there.
Yes.
Was last year they didn't get the COLA, but in the
Right.
previous years we had done COLA.
right, we had in the prior years, and the, contract states that
Yes,
when we,
to please consider them.
yes, so if we're gonna do COLA for everyone else, do you agree that we should do COLA for AgriLife?
One more money,
What?
we pay them, yes.
Yes, what we pay.
Yes, it is only on the portion that we pay, it's not on their.
Right.
State side.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that.
Thank you. The next one on the list was the youth center. You were requesting 2 full-time employees, a teacher, and making your maintenance full-time, correct?
Yes, correct.
And keeping part-time,
Or moving either one of my part-time to full-time. I would just like an education coordinator, since we are going to a 4-week schedule. I think it's important for us to keep in contact with the schools for grades and testing. That way on those days that they're with us full-time, we can focus on what that student struggles in. Like last year, we focused a lot on reading. A lot of our kids are very, very below their reading level. And I know STAR testing is a big subject in Scurry County, and, if we should or shouldn't, or if it's too much pressure, but I do think at the end of the day, it's a lot of pressure on kids. As a parent, it's rigorous what they can't have this, we can't go to the campus, they can't have that. It's a lot of pressure for them. Then they get to school, and sometimes I think some of them just, kind of frizzle out with the pressure or of the testing. So with it being a 4-day school schedule now, I do have concerns that those will only decline. So if I can get a education coordinator in the school, or just contact, I know we had talked before about finding, like even a volunteer, someone at the college or anyone that is going to school for education, just for them to have a person of contact at the school. I do have a part-time person who she applied at the school. She did not get it, but she has about 3 different schools, on her background. So I think she'd be a really good fit. But, if I had a person who could go into the schools, work with some of our students, work with the teachers, getting the work that they're working on in the school, bringing it to our facility. That way on that day, not saying it'd be a full day of education, but at least like an hour per each subject that they do start testing on. So that'd be like reading and math for sure and English.
and you'd want that a full-time position? Or
If possible, but like I said in the first
you
meeting,
could include it in the-
yeah, if I had a choice, I would definitely have my maintenance be the full-time, just because the building it's a big job and it's a lot of work to get done. And then it's sports season. It's not always a big job, in the wintertime it does get a little less yard work, more building maintenance, but our building it suffers a little bit after summertime. We have our toilets we have to fix, we have to do repainting on the walls, or touch up the walls and things like that, fixing things that went kaput during the summer. And then on my budget for the programs in sports, Angela was able to start me a sports line, so I would like to just split. My programs is at 25 right now, so if I could just leave 15 in my programs and then move 10 to my sports, I think that I could, that's just fine right there.
Exit 27.
And the only line that I was still kind of unsure of was the food line. Right now it's at, I think like 15, which shows about $12.50 a month that I could spend per month, on food, but it's kind of like I'm unsure. Just because last summer we had, 112 people in our summer program, and this summer we have 209. And so, and then in 2021, we only had 90 in our program. So every year it's going up. And then this is the biggest year we've had with 209 members. We have a daily average about 100, 110 depending. And I think on my monthly report, I think we did like 3,000 and some meals just last month. And then we also do snack. So right now, I think I could leave my food the same because with my fundraising and things like that, if I need to pull, I could, possibly use my fundraising.
Did you increase it for 2024?
I don't think I did.
Because if you're going to if the school's going to a 4-day,
We're gonna have
day
food,
that you
yeah,
have to
that's
feed
why-
full meal.
Yeah, so we'll have way more meals. Because, normally in the after-school program, we just serve dinner. But on the full days, we do breakfast, lunch, and then a snack.
Okay, yeah, you went from 15,450 in food to 17,500.
Okay, yeah,
So,
yeah.
if you're gonna have more kids, I think that.
I think it needs to go up, as anybody who goes to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that's,
If you buy groceries, you know that you can't buy what you used to be able to
And we're
buy.
also trying to be a little bit smart about it, like Cisco. I try not to order things that, like fruit and stuff from Cisco because it'll go bad too
Right.
fast. I can't save it like that. So then I'll do those things locally here at the grocery store. That way I can, have less waste. I'm really big on waste, so we're trying to and then a lot of our kids, you eat till you're full. I don't know if you eat at home, so if you're still hungry, I still allow you to eat, things like that. So, and we do have a new kitchen person and she's really good. She does a lot of homemade things, a lot of things that shortcuts that she can take rather than using Cisco. So I'm grateful for that too.
And I can tell y'all, my grandson has gone there for the summer program and he is a very, very picky eater and he's been eating there more than he's been eating his lunch.
So I'm glad. Yes, for sure. She's pretty good. I'm glad. So yeah, she's really good at the kitchen. And like I said, last year we did do the food program, but it was so much waste on our end. I did not want to do it with the school this year because again, I don't want to just waste food. They would bring, like big trays of like broccoli. We do, a vegetable, but ones that I know the kids will eat. Broccoli by 10 pounds is not going down in the center, so.
No matter how many times you tell them it's free.
Yeah, so
were you about to say something, Sean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that says a lot for the youth center, but doesn't say much for you.
Hey, now. My grandson is very picky and he has enjoyed the youth center all summer long, so.
Well, I'm really glad.
I am very impressed with the youth center, I can tell you that they have done a great job with those children, and there are a lot of kids there.
Yes, it's been a learning experience. I was not anticipating over 200 kids. I was thinking like 150 maybe, but our waiting list is actually still full, and we did not open it up because I wanted to make sure that we were able to, handle the kids in a safe environment, making sure that the staff is fully trained and just keeping it more safe rather than big numbers. So we could have had every bit of probably 300. So next year I probably will do that. I know how to do it, prepare a little bit differently. Our issue really is with the triple digit weather, we can't go outside that much. And so it's kind of a struggle on space. So we have the net up to split the gym and do it like that. But I do anticipate the numbers to continue to rise. Because like I said, our waiting list, we opened it up once, but not again.
I thought too would be maybe potentially, and I think we talked about it in the budget, maybe in the meeting, to start looking for grants for playground equipment.
Yes,
And
yes.
self-servicing and stuff, to build a playground for them to be able to go out and play, because there's really not.
No.
Walk to the
We
First
walked
Baptist
to the First Baptist Church a couple times, but when you have to walk there and walk back, oh, those little legs get to, I can't make it. And then, they want to sit down on the way home and you're like, come on, we're just another walk. So it is a little rough on them in that heat.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, these are the numbers I have from our meeting. The adding the full-time maintenance and teacher, is an increase of 73,937. We're going from part-time maintenance to full-time maintenance is why that's not quite as high. Cutting part-time 25,000, adding 2,050 to the food line, 10,000 to the new sports line, program expenses, 2,000. Lease agreements went down 1,000, but your general liability insurance went up 5,000. So the total increase for youth center would be $66,987 if we approved full-time maintenance and a teacher and decreased part-time and added the sports line. When we divided that, that sports line, program expenses had actually gone up. We went from 25,000 in program expenses to 17,000 in program expenses and 10,000 in sports supplies. So
I can just have my programs be 15 and my sports be 10. I was doing the numbers with my, like what we do with jerseys. And I noticed that I am starting to get a lot more sponsors. Like I have someone in Sweetwater who's trying to sponsor our football team jerseys right now. So I'm really trying to just reach out and do more sponsorships and donations rather than, and then what we can do, is we do the jerseys ourselves if we don't find the sponsors for all the teams. But a lot of the teams, either themselves or us, will find a sponsor for someone to pay for that team's jersey, so.
Okay. So change that to 15,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Discussion on the Senate budget.
Well, she's done a fabulous job in the short time she's been there. And a lot of them kids don't get to eat unless they go down there. They get lost in the shuffle and everything else. I don't want to be the part-time janitor behind 200 kids. Okay?
Yeah, it's rough, it really is.
I really don't. But as far as the teacher, what do you have now? We talked about a lot, as far as you said you wanted a full-time teacher to go to school.
Yes, or,
Education program.
yes.
To help with them there.
Yeah, so they would
Right.
help, they would work with us, but like, during the day, I would have them in the school, and then after the after-school program, they would be at the facility, leading us for what kid needs to focus on what. So during the day, they would either speak to the counselors, the teachers directly, parents, going to ARD meetings, because right now, I'm the one who goes to the ARD meetings and things like that, but I'm not in the school full-time, so it's really kind of difficult for me to navigate my way through the school when I need to, in the regards of which student it is, what they want to share and things like that. So if I could have another person who focuses on the schools, they know this person to work with the schools, and then they will get me that information that can eliminate, I mean, I don't mind doing ARD meetings, I'm okay with that, but that would eliminate a lot of on my end where I could actually be more helpful rather than just in these ARD meetings. And then I come and I have like 6 students that I'm trying to figure out, and I'm focused on these 6 that I do ARD meetings, but what about the kids that I don't, just not every kid has an ARD meeting, but that doesn't mean they're not struggling. So then they kind of get overlooked. Like I have a 4th grader and he reads at a 1st grade level, and he has no meetings. So every day for 20 minutes a day, we sit down and read a book. I mean, he's gotten up this summer alone to almost a 3rd grade level. He's still 2nd grade because he misses 5 words, per page, but he's almost there. But if I could have another person who goes in there and, you know, could work with him, even, not saying that she has to work at the school with him, but to, you know, talk to the teacher, hey, can I see, you know, how was he today? Can I see his work? You know, or, and they may not be able to do that, but can I use the worksheets that you guys use today? Can you hand me these worksheets for these students? And then, you know, once you get about 150 students, that's quite a task that you're collecting for.
It's basically like a child advocate
Yeah.
that they're representing. And there are a lot of children that don't have, their parents, not saying anything bad about them, but their parents don't have the education to be able to help them.
Or the time.
And time because of working probably double jobs or whatever. So, that unfortunately across the country has been a huge, decline is literacy and everything from COVID all the way back. So I think that.
I mean, we're even trying to teach our students like cursive, because it's crazy that the school does it. I mean, they won't be able to read old documents, you know, like, that's insane to me. So my goal is to, you know, continue that, even if it's at a small scale, like, I think that's important.
You said old documents, I still learn cursive.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you know, but it's like they don't know it. So it's like they wouldn't read, you know, the Declaration of Independence. They wouldn't know how to read that. You know, it's in cursive.
So my question was, do you have a person doing it now part-time?
No, right now it's the
You're-
summertime, but yes, last year it was me. But I only did it with the students that had ARD meetings, like ADHD, autism, Asperger's disease, things like that, who actually needed the help in the school. The school would actually contact me like, hey, how do you get them to behave in your center? Can you come out of this meeting? We're trying to get this grade up. Can you help us? So I would go to these meetings. You know, we would help each other, but that's only on the kids that had these meetings. You know, the child who reads at a first grade level, he doesn't have meetings. He's not in art or special education. He's just simply being overlooked.
Falling through the cracks. That's what they're trying to catch.
Sad to say, but it's happening more and more.
Yes.
But, so how many children do you think this person would be handling today?
Honestly, as many as they could. Between me and that person, it'd be all the students. We have also Yvonne and Nicole, they help me do it as well. In the after school program, you know, we're there all day. So in the daytime, while the kids aren't there, when we're not doing other paperwork, that's what we focus on, getting ready for the day. What are we gonna work on today? What worksheets do we have? And in the past, I was just using homeschooling worksheets and things like that. You know, COVID taught me a lot about where to pull those worksheets from. So that's what I've kind of been doing. But then when they go to the school, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm trying to teach you math. And they're like, no, it's not like that. You have to use the cowboy hat method. And I don't know what that method is. And then you call the teacher's like, well, you can watch this YouTube video. And, you know, and you get the same answer, but they get it wrong because they didn't use that method. And so I'm having to learn all these methods. And I mean, I'm terrible at math anyway. So what I know is like basic, you know, and they're doing like make a box, make a hat, roll it over, like crazy stuff. So that person would also be helping me learn these methods for kids. Because I mean, my child, she literally got it wrong because we just did the, you know, carry the one over, cross it, and no, she didn't use the method, so it was wrong.
Yeah.
So it's really a stressful, like we do homework help when they get from school or off the bus. We go to the homework room. We usually have the college students and high school students go volunteer in there with the staff. Well, we're all in there trying to YouTube a method before we can help them because we don't know what the method is. So that person could go in the school and help learn that method and then come teach us and then the kids, and we would have one solid person who, you know, could at least know these methods.
So the school has a program that people can go through to get their teaching certificate. I think it's through tech, maybe.
Teach tech.
Could you not use one of those students?
Well, we did talk about that. I could use one of those. I didn't know what would be more beneficial, like cost-wise, if I should just move one of my, people, or can I use, because once I use a student, I would have to hire them on anyways, correct? Because it would be,
Do those have to work for the school if they're going
They
through
do.
that program?
They have a
Is it
contract that they
with
have
the
to
school?
finish out.
When they graduate, or whatever it is they do, yeah.
So would they work part-time if they were helping her, or would that be?
Well, it kind of has to be part-time, because I think they're also doing that too, but.
and that's a great idea. My only concern with the student is when their schedule changes at school, like, will it affect us, our hours, what we need them to do? That's one I lost an employee because, her school schedule is changing and she's not gonna be able to come back for the school because she has more classes, different hours of classes, that's my only concern. But I think that would be great because that's what they're already focused on, that's what they like doing, and that would be beneficial. I just don't know how that would work. Like, are they part-time here? Do they already work for the school? I'm not sure how that goes
I don't think they work for the school until they graduate.
after they graduate.
But that
Kelly's-
program, how long is that program?
I'm not sure.
It's only like 6 or 8 months,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
not very long.
It's not very long.
I've had a couple of friends go through it, and then I think they had to work for a year with the school. Once they graduated, they had to stay with the school for a year, and then they were able to transfer out. Because one of my friends went to the Dallas area, but it's about a one school cycle, like the spring and fall semester at college kind of thing. But it is packed. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's a lot. But it is basically kind of like an intern
So they're
doing the work.
going to school and working at the school?
Well, they're
or-
working at the school and they do their work, it's online,
Mhm.
but they still have they have assignments that they still have to turn in, they have to still keep their grades up. And I believe, like one of my friends, she already had her associate's degree prior to that. So like this was basically what was called her practical kind of thing, it's her practical work experience.
Yeah, that's kind of how I get it, like kind of in the medical field, you go and you work at the hospital, you're still doing your classes, but this is, so I'm not sure, I would love that, but what if they get overwhelmed or, what if and then if they have a choice, of course, they're gonna pick their schooling and education probably before us. And then the turnover rate of that, once they are done, here I am having to teach another person, our policies, procedures, how we want it done. So I feel like, it could be beneficial, but if I'm having to hire them part-time and we have to go through part-time hire work every 6 to 8 months with this person, with different people, I think that would be, I don't know how that would work.
You said you had a person who applied that had also applied for the school, but had a background with the school. Does that person know Common Core math?
Yes, yes, and that's the first thing. I have 2 people that, when we talk about this, that show great interest. They both work with schools, they both have that knowledge. And of course, whoever in the public, but, I do have those 2 people that, that have sat at the table with me and put our brains together of how we can better serve the kids. But like I said, if it came down to a position, I would just continue with, Nicole and Yvonne. And then my part-time, what I would do, we don't get kids till 4. So I would just have that part-time, work the max hours they could work, come in early, and then try to get them in the schools in those couple hours and get that done. I would just have multiple people probably do it because 1 or 2 people doing it for 200 kids in like 3 hours might be a little, but I could do it. It's doable. I could get it done. Is it what?
In the children's best interest?
See, that's what I feel like one solid person that's just continuous is the best, of course, but I'll work with anything. I can make it happen with whatever.
Because I would really like for them to be able to read and do math, because, there's a chance they're gonna be working with nursing homes, some of those are gonna be in one day, they really need to be able to read.
Well, and people, it sounds cliche, but kids are the future. Like, they are gonna be doctors and government people and presidents, and we have to remember that. They're gonna have to take care of us one day, and I want them to be educated while they do it.
Yeah, that's a scary thought right now.
What's your pleasure there?
What would be the salary of this person?
It would be the entry, so whatever the clerk pay, the 37,879.
Well, like I said,
And full benefits.
Heather's done an amazing job down there, and she generates a lot of revenue for her youth center on herself. You can see that.
We try.
Yeah, you totally turned that place around. It's totally different.
Well, it's good to hear.
Appreciate it, definitely.
Anybody knows me knows, so far for kids, so I don't have an issue with the whole town. But that's me.
Jeff and Doug?
I think it's a good program, but, and I understand trying to teach kids, but I feel like we're not in the teaching position. I think that should be left up to school. I know they fall through the cracks and everything, but I don't know, I have mixed emotions about it. I would do a part-time person, but to me, if it's gonna be full-time and you're gonna go to school and teach or come back and teach all that, then I feel like the school should have to pay for it.
Well, I agree with the moving the part, or the maintenance personnel to full-time, like John said, picking up after 300 kids, part-time is a lot. But I'm not sold on the full-time position for the new one.
Are y'all willing to do, you said part-time, willing for that position to be a part-time position? Yeah.
We get back into the verbal, what was it, the part-time?
They just can't work over, 30 hours cannot work over 30 hours for more than
5 weeks, 6 weeks.
6 weeks consecutive, because then you get into, benefit type stuff. But I don't think she would be asking if it wasn't for the fact that the schools are not going to be going 5 days a week.
Right.
Yeah, that's really
Friendly
my
and Ira
big
are,
issue.
but Snyder is not.
I'm just really concerned about the 4-week schedule, and the kids, their scores, and they're already suffering. And it does give me concern to know that there's one less day that they have in this classroom, one less day that, they have any one-on-one time. A teacher now has to cram everything that she did in 5 days and 4 days, and they don't, they're already crammed in 5 days.
And then that extra, it's nearly every week that they.
Yes. Yes, there's only like 1 month, I think, and that's in April, and that's because it's STAR testing that month. They only have April 1st off, and then they're there the rest of the month. But like the month of March, we go to school 12 days, the whole month. I mean, we're out every Friday and a whole week. And then we start school August 9th, and then our first full day is the 25th, and then after that, it's like 1 day a week that they're off. And it's either a Monday or a Friday.
I've got a question that has absolutely what the guy does have to do with the youth center, but what was the school's thoughts of this 4-day school week?
Well, they pushed it. They thought that it would be a great day for parents to family time, they said, appointments, things like that. But I mean, it was a very closed vote, if you ask, a lot of people didn't vote, and then they asked why. Well, we're at work while you're voting, I can't really leave to go do that stuff.
And Alan, the reason that they chose to go with the hybrid schedule was because they believe that it will bring in more certified teachers. It will look more appealing to employees or people that are applying. That was one of their big pushes.
Didn't they lose a lot of staff this year?
Yes.
I'm getting to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Well, they were having a lot of students not come on Fridays. Well, now they're not gonna come on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Harley and Ira, I don't even know if Ira gave them a choice. Harley, they put a survey out and we did have mixed response, but parents have to work. I mean, you're living in a time where you don't.
That's what I was gonna say. How many of those kids are gonna be at home by
Well,
themselves
and that's exactly, and that's what
That's-
scares me as well. They said it's family time, but, I mean, for who? I mean, these kids will be at home by themselves for the majority of that, and then they won't be fed. There could be accidents of any kind, older siblings watching younger siblings getting frustrated, there's a number of red flags,
Sadly, that's where they need to go to their school board meetings and speak up there, which
Yeah.
I do at mine, so.
There was one.
I voted no. See, one person, so when only one person shows up to voice anything, then.
It's
Right.
Yeah.
There was a good turnout for their little town meeting, but that was just to answer questions.
I would think I would give them a choice.
I don't think that they did. I don't think they even did a survey. I think they just said, y'all are going.
You're gonna go to school.
I think- I don't remember getting those choices when I was a kid. We didn't even get bad weather day.
The decision.
I think what Heather's wanting to do is admirable. I believe in it. I believe in what she's trying to do. And she is taking a lot of that and doing it herself anyway.
I was about to say,
On
even if I
top of
don't
all
get
the
it,
duties.
I will still continue.
Sure.
I will just use my part-time, like I said, and we'll just go in there and do it. It will be a little tight, but, I cannot watch these kids not read and, suffer in their education.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody's hungry, sorry. If y'all heard it growl, I'm sorry. But can I make a recommendation, potentially starting it at part-time, see how it goes? She does an excellent monthly report. And in that report, showing the number of adding that education specialist that deal as part-time. And then maybe seeing if there seems to be a need, growing it into a full-time position.
And I plan on tracking the kids at my center as well through the school. So, with parents' permission, upon sign up, especially the parents that have, we have the homework help and things like that parents ask for, say like the child that I'm tracking now. Once he goes to school and start testing, I will, parents and I will compare like their testing scores to see if it's actually helping them, checking in with the teachers to see if like they're benefiting from it. Are they, enjoying it more, having more focus? Like the student who, he was failing miserably in reading, he had an actual 4% at the end of school last year. And now he's seen his teacher, they met at the library because he's now part of the reading club at the library. He's never enjoyed that. So I will follow my students just to have their own success stories, not just for, me, but for themselves to see how far they can. And so parents can see as well. So that will be something you guys can see as well. I can, of course, leaving names confidential, but letting you guys know how much they've grown because I know they will grow.
Thoughts on that?
I think we at least, do it part-time and see. I mean, it's always good, we'll go back and visit it later, but I do think if you go down there, there's a need, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And, because
I'm in favor of full-time, but if that's not something that the court is willing to do, I think we at least at minimum need to go part-time. Granted, it is the school's job to educate, I agree with that. But
Well, I agree with what Angela said. We'll start it part-time and see how it goes.
Have a question.
yes, ma'am.
The discussion back and forth in these meetings has been, it's so hard to get people to work part-time. Would you have an issue, would you have a problem getting somebody part-time?
I don't believe so. I think, I always get applications, but with this position, I think that it speaks volumes, and I think it'll just attract that type of person of that education. Especially, we have so many people in the college, and in the high school that come volunteer, that have education backgrounds. Like, I just hired a young man and he's going to school for child psychology, so I do think that at, WTC alone in the high school, I will find, plus I have, 2 employees, but it'll be open to the public. I'm gonna pick the best person possible for that. Preferably someone who is going into an education background.
To me, she sees a need right now for full-time. And believe it or not, I have no issue with her getting 2 full-time people. I hate to say that, and another thing I want to say is, I didn't know you were old enough to have grandsons.
Oh, I have 19 grandchildren, so.
We messed on it already.
Just so we-
There's a newspaper guy right there.
And it's on video.
I'm sorry, I started hearing train whistles and stuff.
But, she's just gonna be in here in a few months, or especially next budget year, asking for a full-time.
And I will.
So,
But like I said, in the meantime, I will take part-time, just to show, we can make a difference.
I prefer full-time, but I'm good with whatever the court thinks. One or the other, because she's gotta have some help.
I still want to start as part-time.
I agree with part-time.
I'll, change that to back where it was. We
Okay.
dropped it from 100,000 to 75,000, and I'll have to get with, Kirsten, find out about the
Okay.
general payroll, dropping that back. That's gonna be good. Okay. Anything else you want to discuss with the, youth center?
She runs a pretty tight ship for what she does.
Mhm. All right, we're gonna skip precinct 1 since Terry's not here.
I don't know, where's the phone?
While Jeff's out, we'll do precinct 2.
Let's do precinct 4 while it's,
Should have said that. That'll give me a moment to make a note here on that.
We're going in order of the budget. Is that what you're doing? Are you going in order?
Yes, you're last.
Do you want to do yours? You got somewhere to be?
I got a meeting that started 20 minutes ago.
Okay, let's get, we'll do you next. Do yours next.
I've been last every year.
Because your number is 85.
How about next year we flip it upside down and start with yours? Remind me,
I won't take long, I promise.
remind me.
Yeah.
That'd be an automatic 20% cut.
did you just
I'll
say,
I'll be the first to come get your loader to pick you up.
did you just say that you'd be quick?
I'll be quick. I have 2 adjustments to ask for and the rest of it's pretty solid. So,
Oh, in this one today, not next year.
That's what I was fixing to say.
In the one today, not next year's. 'cause
next
you're-
year's a different story. I can't speak to that.
We're gonna go ahead and do EMS. Jason's gotta be somewhere, so.
So he did the yours.
Thank you.
So you can send my job there.
All right, let me find that sheet. All right, so EMS, part-time up 15,000, safety and training down 200, fuel and oil up 2,000. There's been a few changes since, we put this together, since I gave you that sheet. We'll go over those. Tire expenses down 1,500, professional services up 20,000. Communications down 3345, cellular service up 2,000, utilities up 800, maintenance, repair, and expenses, moving it up to 35,000. Total of 6593 up, vehicle expense up 10,000, maintenance agreements down 1,000, other equipment up 5407 for a total of 51,755. Maintenance, repair, and equipment went up just recently, correct? We just,
Yes, in the dues line.
in the dues line.
We're gonna leave vehicle expenses alone and cross our fingers.
Don't know that you should do that.
You're moving the maintenance.
He's got several ambulances that are out of service right now.
What's that?
You're moving the maintenance up to what?
35.
Is it?
And dues to 7.
That's right, dues to 7,000.
Dues to 7.
Don't you have 2 ambulances?
Yeah, I've got 2 ambulances down right now. One on a crutch, another one on a crutch, and my medic 2's doing good though. Yep. The bottom line with the ambulances, and you guys have heard me say this before, is we need to really get them on a rotation. It's just, we just gotta get them on a 2-year rotation. If I don't spend my capital expenditures or text class, and don't buy anything but ambulances, I can do that, I think, if our revenue keeps up, which it is. But we just have got to do that. We've got 2 or 3 trucks that are 2015s. The boxes are from 2008. We can remount those boxes, but right now our remounts looking at about 200 to 250,000. So we're really not gonna save a whole lot with the remount, and we'll have to put it on a gasoline engine. And talking to a few mechanics, they're 100% against that, local mechanic. Would rather us see go with a pickup diesel, with the way we idle and run times and stuff. They encourage that, but I mean, the bottom line is we've just got to get them on a rotation. We are having some problems with our new trucks. Our Crest line, which came out of Canada, is having some air conditioner problems again, but we found the problem. We just got to get other trucks up and running before we can fix that. So we just had to recharge. Blew a radiator out of our other truck, and crossing our fingers we didn't blow the head gaskets. Got it shut down fast enough. One of our newest truck has a liquid spring leak, which ruined the pump, but that's all warranty work. It's just a matter of getting them down here to do it, with the exception of the labor. So we run these ambulances hard. I mean, we ran our second busiest month ever in June. And so our call volume fluctuates, but our call volume is steadily going up over a year's time. You can see that. So the maintenance cost will fluctuate. We're just in a bad time, but we've got the 2 reserve trucks that we've kept that we're pulling up. So, and we got no Ranger.
We have Tahoes, fast enough, you can put the seats down.
But,
Back of the Tahoe.
back to the old Suburbans, but, anyway, so the maintenance, the vehicle maintenance line is really hard to budget, for, depending on how things go, so.
I agree. I mean, you're 100% right on. I feel like we need to start rotating, not just ambulances. A lot of this equipment, we're running out of places to put Band-Aids. And
Yeah.
these Band-Aids are getting more and more expensive.
They're getting expensive now.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can control some of that. our medication costs will go up under the operational lines because of the plant got taken out by a tornado. So we'll see some operational costs go up there. Our professional services line will go up because we have a Medicare audit and cost report that's due next year. And that should be a one-time fee. We will decrease the professional services line next year, I'm hoping. So
You do have an ambulance ordered though, right? And like two.
it'll be here, yeah, but the point is we need to look at probably October or November coming back in front of the court and saying, hey, we need to go ahead and bite the bullet and order another one for 2 years delivery time and lock in the price now. And I had been looking at text class numbers and revenue numbers. I think we could budget that without taking anything out of the current budget or budgeting capital expenditures.
Sure. Okay.
So are you sure you don't want to up your vehicle maintenance?
I think last year we spent $50,182. We're averaging $3,384 a month currently. So if we keep on that course, that's an in total of $40,608. Course, we're gonna spend $5,000 this month. Estimate, $5,000 this month, so, I think it's at 45, I wouldn't go higher than 50.
Part of your vehicle maintenance last year was the hail damage, and those were accidents.
Yeah.
And part of that was covered by insurance as
Yeah,
well.
but I got those really cheap. My hail damage was really
Yeah,
cheap.
because you just keep
I took it,
Leatherwoods in business.
no, I didn't take my hail damage to Leatherwood. I took it up to,
Well, Leatherwoods has worked on a lot of your ambulances.
well, they work on more of the collision stuff. Which I'm sad to say, but my hail damage was cheap to fix. I took it out to Von Roder Gin and had that guy do it.
PDR.
Yeah, he did it like half the cost.
If you've got two that's limping now,
Well,
Yeah.
one's sitting at Nix's Auto Park.
Let's just waiting on an air. We had a radiator ship from Houston, so it'll be here quick. And just cross our fingers it didn't get to the engine. It'll be
and the other,
another one.
The other one that's,
Oh, just waiting for warranty parts out of
yeah,
Florida.
that one, the warranty, we
That-
pay labor on.
Yeah,
I bet you get the parts from Florida before you get them from Houston.
we'll see.
but
Yeah, that's kind of up to you, whatever you guys want to do. I'm good there.
Where do you want to go with that?
Well, you can look at it this way, if they all break down this year, maybe they won't break down next year.
and,
You know, you may need an ambulance before long.
and that's my point. Actually, you may lose one pretty quick.
That almost sounded like a threat. Both ways.
Hold on.
You might not want to leave good, Jason.
I mean, you can't take it somewhere and say, well, I ain't got the money to fix it. So I'd say up it to 50. And, because if you don't spend it,
Yeah,
It goes back
it goes right back in
anyway.
general fund, yeah.
so.
50? You good with that? You want less?
On maintenance?
Just FYI, I don't think I've ever heard Jason say he doesn't have the money to do anything. FYI.
Valid point.
By the way, Jason, you said quick, that wasn't quick.
Oh, I tried to make it quick. I just wanted to adjust 2 lines.
So you increased maintenance to 50,000?
Yes.
Vehicle maintenance.
Vehicle maintenance.
Vehicle maintenance. 250.
The regular maintenance is 35,
Is 3,500?
so
35,000.
35,000,
35.
and dues 7,000.
I don't even think I have a dues line. What did you say dues was?
7,000.
I can
Increase in
explain
dues.
all of those lines at any point and where, what that money goes to specifically, so, on the dues line. Angela and Dan have both those, breakdown of that.
We know where to find you if there are questions.
Yeah, you do.
Call 911.
Call 911. Well, don't do that, I'll send my crew.
Hopefully it's on our terms and it is.
All right.
Thank you for what you do.
All right, thank you. Thank you, department heads, for allowing me to jump ahead of you and elected officials.
Well, we're down to
Appreciate
just
you.
a few now. We're gonna let's do, airport and, golf course next. Golf course is really not anything other than an update that we have the ALP airport layout plan, that we're working on, and we found out that the runway and taxiway grant is going to be quite a bit more, correct?
Well,
We're gonna do
it depends on who you talk to.
This
If you
is
talk
true.
to, I forget, I don't know these
Centurion?
people's names, yes. If you talk to them, it's actually less than if you talk to TxDOT.
Right.
The aviation one. I like Centurion's
Yes,
viewpoint because it is quite a bit less. And they're the ones actually going to be doing the design and engineering of it. So I kind of am more likely to believe what they say because they're the ones gonna do it. TxDOT is just their estimated cost at that time when it's actually gonna be done, but TxDOT has gone up a lot from where it was when they first
right.
started this project, like
It was-
$4 million a lot.
It started at 6, they say it's gonna cost 10.
Yes. But that is a 90-10. So we put in the 10%. That's the money we've been putting in the Texas class airport fund to get that part. So I wish that Dick Coons was here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember if they are projecting to be able to start anything next year, because they're still requesting all this data and
Start
information.
the ALP or the runway?
I think it's the ALP is already in process.
process,
Right,
so
we've already
the runway.
paid a portion of that, which
Okay.
is the planning, the
Right.
airport layout planning.
If I remember, they were saying 25.
Yes, and
So-
we paid that.
Well, I mean, 2025
Oh, okay.
is
Well,
when
we
the
paid,
runways.
there was a $25,000
Mhm.
that we had to pay for the planning part, and that
Right.
we've already done. We did that already this year.
Just now.
Not, so are you talking about the runways 2025 or the planning is 2025?
I think the runway is actually, starting the runway is actually in 2025. I don't remember if
That's what I
it's
think
planning or
as
if
well.
it's.
So I don't
starting.
think we have to actually budget to pay anything in 2024.
Correct.
Other than continuing to put that the one in the runway maintenance line we always put there, and then I move it to the Texas Class Airport Fund. Right now, he has, I think it's 480 something thousand built up in the Texas Class, Airport Fund. It might be even more than that now because we did that 50,000 last time.
Right.
But the interest has been really good on that account, and with 100,000 at the end, or the 80 that's remaining in there, because we did pay that 20 out of that line. The remainder of that will go into that. So I think it's a doable thing especially at Centurion's, estimate. I don't know fully about TxDOT's. I think that they're just overestimating so that, either to scare us away or for us to plan, higher
And
costs,
accordingly.
but, yeah.
Um,
But I don't think there needs to be a change in his budget for 2024 for that, for either one of those.
I think you're right. And he didn't make many changes.
No, I think he changed his fuel,
Yeah.
went up some,
Yeah, we all deal with
yeah.
it. Whether you work for the county or not.
Mhm. And he's been submitting his runway maintenance grant paperwork, so he gets up to 50,000 a year in reimbursements on that, and he's been submitting that, so he should, and I think he did just another one the other day, so he should get another reimbursement on it too.
Right, so we get about 100,000 a year towards, that we can put towards
Yes.
running.
We get the ad fuel money, and then we get, which if he's pulled it out twice already this year, so we've already put 100,000 this year
Okay.
towards it. We'll have the other 80, possibly towards the end of the year, he can pull another 50 from ad fuel.
Okay.
So it's a doable thing, I believe. And, from my knowledge and my understanding, it's not really kind of an option. It's getting to the point that the runway is going to be unsafe for the planes. Not so much as, he explained it all to me, but
You're right,
it's
yeah.
Greek, so.
It's to the point where we have to do something.
Yes.
It's been that long. It's been too long. Or they will shut down.
It's been, I think, 12 years since they've done anything on the runways, or longer than I've been with the county. I think in 2012 was the last time they did anything.
And this would cover, any cracks in the runways, repair any runways, but it's mainly taxiways and apron and all of that. That was not done when the runways were.
Right, that's the reason that the grandstand did that.
The way they set up the grant. Okay, y'all good with the airport? Okay, let's do the golf course. Their budget is down this year. Maintenance is down 6,000, capital expense is down 18,000, still keeping 50,000 in there for, cart paths. Under capital expenditures, 50,828 in for cart paths. Any thoughts, discussion on the golf course?
About the 24,000 we talked about, 3 years,
Remind me.
about the salary increase for the contract service. We agreed to take it out for 3 years.
Let me see.
It's under contract labor.
Yeah.
And it was budgeted for the full.
The full amount this year.
I think that's what it is.
Last year, the difference was made up by a donation.
And the actual motion was, that they would take the 24,000 from capital expenditures, put it to the, contract labor line. So that's what the motion was. And then, later a private donation was given for that difference.
Right. So it didn't have to come out of the,
So the 24,000 was never put back in capital, but it also, it is budgeted still in contract labor.
which has the amount down this year is 24,000 on the budget. Anything else on golf course?
If I remember, yes, there was a private donation, but had there not been a private donation, they were gonna take it out of one of their lines,
Correct.
the 24. And, which we were all good with that. But wasn't it passed at? Because for 3, when we approved, say it 3 years, correct?
Correct. 168,000.
The provision last year was 144, and they agreed to take it out of another line to make up the difference.
Correct, for the 2023 budget.
Right.
But just to interject real quick, when we did budget last year, wasn't the same time that he did his contract. Contract was at the end of the year, budget was this time of the year.
Right.
So the budget was budgeted 144,000. However, when y'all did approve the contract, y'all did approve the contract at 168,000 for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. Just checking.
Just to, not to disagree with you, but just to clarify, and that's what happened. I did go back and watch all the videos. So,
Okay.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Anything else on golf course? Going?
Good.
Gone. I'm gonna make y'all go last. Let's go to Board of County Development. No one's been appointed as the chair. We haven't taxed for this in 4 years. We want to keep the budget, that budget in there. Do you want to keep doing BCD? And are there any funds in BCD?
I haven't looked at the unreserved fund balance to see, I do know that we received a bill for BCD for the earth cam. That was, something that Wade Warren, when he was the chairperson, whatever, over the BCD, they had put in place, it was on the square, and then it had gotten moved to the park. Currently, it doesn't work because our internet is used to the pool right now. But once we get all of the new stuff, they also want to upgrade it to whatever, I think it's a good thing in your box, EarthCam 3.0, I don't know what it's called. But, it's an annual fee, I think of like $3,850 or something like that. It had normally been paid before the last 4 years. It was paid out of Fund 16. The last 4 years it's been paid out of non-departmental. We haven't, even before the last 4 years, there was very minimal interaction with the BCD. Chloanne would come in every now and then because she was on it, but I don't believe there's any members on the BCD.
Yeah, all they were doing was $2,000 towards awnings, I think.
Every now and then they would pay for some kind of community, something in a newspaper, or
Right.
not necessarily the newspaper, it was a publication thing.
I take that back, that Chamber would ask for funds for fireworks, and BCD would pay towards that, I believe. So, do you want it reactivated? Do you want to appoint somebody as chair? Do you want to continue BCD, or do you want to do something different?
Well, no, they're not big benefit.
Can it just be dissolved?
I don't know if you can dissolve it, I would have to look into the
Yeah,
legalities
we
of
would
that,
have
but
to
I
do-
can inactivate the fund, that I can do,
Yeah, you can not fund it.
yeah. I think the BCD does a lot of the same thing the DCOS does, and the
Yeah,
chamber,
the
so.
county side of it,
Mhm.
but most of what they would do could come through court,
Mhm.
so.
Which had with that or can in the past couple of years, so.
I'm all for just not funding it.
Works for me.
Sean?
Yep.
You found this also, Angela, the law library, we only get 4,000 there
Yes.
in fees, and the expenses of 41,000. We're required by law to have a law library.
Yes, it is a requirement to provide the law books for the lawyers, but those law library books are not just for lawyers, they are for the criminals, or the inmates, or whatever you want to call them. Those people that need to have access to, the law books. The fees that we get into that fund are from fines and fees and court costs, stuff like that, but it's very minimal, we don't get a lot in. It's not a fund that we don't tax for it or anything, but if it ends the end of the year with a negative balance, it does have to be cleaned. So the funds have to be transferred from the general fund to make that balance zero in that fund. We never have more revenue than we do expenses, because there is LexisNexis, which is, a computer, a program that you can get online and look up the different laws, and that's available for the people in the jail and stuff, as well as the lawyers and I believe the attorneys, county attorney, district attorney, county judge, and the district judge all access it as well.
So in the end, they get paid, no matter if it's $4 in there.
It has to. It's required by law to provide those,
So why would you not put what it's gonna take in there? Because that requires a budget amendment at the end of the year.
Do we? There's not a line for ad valorem on that, is there?
no, we don't tax for it, because it is a fee fund. We don't tax. It's just that I have to put the money, I think that if we,
I'm just wondering how to clean that
I
up.
think there's a transfer in line, at 320, it's a 24,370 or something like that, and it can be budgeted in the transfer in, which is transfer from general to, law library.
Because when you have to clean it up at the end of the year, that's where you get it in.
Yes, it's the only place I can't get it from. I don't have a magic pot anywhere.
What's the difference in those?
I'm just trying to make sure that we.
It's not something that we've covered before,
Right,
but the books, they've gone up. It's, the price thing is increased
mhm.
for being able to do it, maybe because of the number of, criminal cases have gone up, I don't know. But it is something that has continued to go up, and it could be, Trey might want to hurt me for saying this, and maybe even the county attorney, that SB 22, it could be something that could help, funds from that could help cover, depending on all the legalities of it, because I haven't dug deep into SB 22 real well yet. I was trying to get through budget and then dig into it.
Yeah.
I quit buying mine for the office because the last one was $400.
Yeah, I have my books are not little, they're big, but
Look that big. For the estate code was $400. I sent it back. Couldn't keep it.
Trey has been at sheriff's conferences.
yes, he called me this morning.
Talking about that a lot.
He called me, freaked out about it a little bit this morning.
Okay, so that's more of an awareness thing there than anything. Looking at Fund 25, the JP Building Security, and Fund 27 Records Management for JPs, and I've spoken about JPs about this.
Fund 27 is not for JPs, those are for.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fund, which one is it?
It's 25 and 42.
42, that's much, yes, I didn't put them together here, I was just, anyway, there's more requested out of there than there is available. These are also fee, court tech fund, they're fee
Fee funds.
funds,
They do have some balances in them.
yeah,
If, on the JP courthouse security one though, however, they don't have enough to cover what your, the proposal that you were wanting to do for that.
yes, so that was, we changed that to Fund 29.
Yes, that's right.
But when I talked to him, I think that's just those lines that, yeah, I'll put an amount here in case I need it. And so, I've spoken to him and we're gonna change those where they're at or below the amount that's actually budgeted for.
Well, and half the
those.
time they don't use them.
Right, yeah. So, just
What are we gonna do
awareness.
with the lighting over there? I mean, where would that come from?
That would also be permanent improvement.
Right. I was looking at the records management, 6,000 in revenue, but 100, and I know it has its own fund.
Oh, and they've got a lot of money in
Yeah,
records management.
100, I saw 128,000 in expenses. Is that,
She has over like 300, well, it's
Well,
shared now between Melody
Right.
and Candy, and then
Only
y'all
one
have,
of them. One of
yeah,
two
y'all
of them
still
are
have a
mine by
separate,
myself. I have two by
Candy has a
myself.
separate one, you have a separate one,
Right.
and then you have a
There's
shared
one
one.
combined.
And so there's well over 300,000 in there.
right, I just didn't remember what the
And I've
expenses
got a
are.
project of redoing all the plats they're doing right
Is
now.
that what yours is?
That's all the
They're
money's in
restoring all
there
the
to
plats.
be used is for archiving, records management and stuff like that.
Okay.
So.
All right, perfect.
Melody's good about, and Candy both are good about, coming in and double checking,
Mhm.
can this be used there? Cause they're a stickler on some of the laws for that.
I have no doubts, and I knew that fund was there, and that's for y'all to do with what you want. I just wanted a little clarification there. So, okay, Fund 29, capital projects, permanent improvements. The revenue is gonna be $841,445 in abatement payments. And if you remember, we're doing that instead of going against the tax rate, keeping it separate from the tax rate, so that when the 10 years are up on those, we're not scrambling trying to figure out where we're gonna come up with those funds. And it should build us up to roughly 16 million or more in funds out throughout that time. Having said that, there are a few things that are listed in that fund to come out. We put the road materials for the parks in there. And annex permanent improvements, that's the camera system upgrade over there, that's 25,000. And that is to get rid of the camera system where China can hack into it. They have a chip in there. Those cameras are illegal and we just hadn't caught up to that yet, and be the same camera system that we have here. And then, your thoughts on this? We have a well here that has never been finished. I was looking at, I think it's about 25,000 to finish the well and tie it into the irrigation system instead of us paying a water bill for irrigation from the city of Snyder. Any thoughts on that?
How much is the water bill from the city?
I don't know, for just the irrigation,
I
thought we did discuss this last year and decided to go ahead and get it going and that.
no, we did the well at the north part.
We talked about the well here at the courthouse, not getting it done because Todd was up here and Terry was talking about it.
It wasn't budgeted in.
Right, we didn't budget it. We did discuss looking at doing it or getting it ready or what it would take, I think, but not actually doing it. So, and so there's a couple of options for Fund 29. For this fund. So, so the road materials, park road materials is about 201,000. It brings the total to 251,000 on those three items. Do you want to consider that an ad valorem tax to take those out? Or do you want to go against the abatement money that we are getting and take it out of the abatement money for those three? And we would still, still have a little over $500,000 that we could put towards the emergency reserve fund at the end of the year if we didn't use any more out of there on the 251,000.
Tax for it, the abatements and cover it.
Okay,
Of course, we can't make a habit of that either.
I agree. That's my one concern there is.
Well, it's just a one-time use, correct? I mean, it's not an every year situation on such as the water well.
Potentially, but if we say that every year,
Correct.
it's a one-time, we say we're gonna do it this one time, it would leave 590 in there, 590,445. Was that how you want to do it? No ad valorem tax on Fund 29, just, we did this year, 186,864.
We didn't have any expenses budgeted, that was a revenue, and
Right.
no expenses out, so.
Right, to cover things that have gone wrong, and we've used it some.
A little bit, not very much, but.
That's my fault.
Okay,
So,
I'm okay with that, I am, I just want to clarify, I want y'all to,
but speaking we ever find out about the site of the courthouse falling
Of the what?
off, the marble?
Oh, I've got that. I will present that, on the first.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the report back. Friday. Right.
I knew they were here.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, he just got that back to us. Okay, Of course, we have the jail payment every year, $908,300. Okay, precinct 2, you're asking for additional road
What was
material.
the decision on 29, abatement or?
Yeah, abatement payment.
No,
No ad valorem
No
tax
tax
added to that.
Use the money in that fund.
Precinct 2, so 5,000 down in part-time, 5,000 up in tires, 28,000 additional road materials, $300 down in safety, 400 and up in non-travel meals. Capital outlay for used vehicles, 38,000, total 66,100. Up in precinct 2. Big to that.
If I keep going, I'll raise the maintenance and repairs.
That's the, when I said it before, I followed some good commissioners and some good forums and had the previous elected officials have done the same thing.
Well, road material, if I don't go, I will not get all the grant roads done.
Next year.
Well,
I still may not.
that may come back, but like I say, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, but, I know battle is fine, so.
I'm having to replace the transmission right now. And I think I have a little over 5,000 left in maintenance repair, and it'll take all of that. So I'll have to do it. Transfer somewhere next week.
This morning,
Yeah, I think one of your hands is
was the first person that you got to raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to change that, maintenance and repairs?
I'd like to go about 30,000 on it. Because everything I have is wore out.
Are you gonna get a used pickup or a new one?
I think I can get a good use one.
Do all of y'all's hands drive pickups? Have vehicles? Do they just drive them to the precinct and leave them there and then go from there?
No, we drive wherever their equipment's at.
Yeah.
And then they're available if we get called to a grass fire, they can get to where they need to go.
Not driving home.
Okay, I wasn't sure. How that worked.
Cause I had that problem when I took off, it's not, always the vehicles. Then, bad idea.
All right, so raising that maintenance and repairs to 30,000 from 22,500. And your road materials, 200,000 from 172, and then 38,000 for a vehicle, correct?
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
Should do it.
Sean? We'll go to precinct. Okay, precinct 3. You didn't have any changes that I saw? I remember correctly?
Just,
No?
same budget I had when I took off this.
Doing work.
Do you want me to take you drive around precinct 3 or? what?
Apparently another precinct.
There you go. Yeah, something like that.
So since you're doing all this other work, precinct work in other precincts, you don't need as much road materials and all that.
No, we just,
Still has pretty good stockpiles over there.
Okay, precinct 4, an additional 21,639 in road materials, bringing that up to, did I say precinct 3? Precinct 4, I'm sorry. Bringing that up to 300,000 for road materials. New line for buildings and grounds of 5,000. Capital outlay of 100,000 for 2 new vehicles. And did you add another lease payment in there?
We moved it from, it was under, what was it?
He had it, his capital, he had a lease payment under capital, but it had to go to, the lease payment line. Cause
Okay,
he does have the 2 leases that you currently paying.
2 leases, and they were, no.
The one did it at the end of last year. I mean, it was approved at the end of the last year, and then he was able to finally get it at the beginning of this year. That, what was it?
That was a little older.
Yes,
And then
look,
there was already a maintainer and a roller
yes.
that were released.
do you have 114,000 as the total for his lease payments?
I think that's what I have downstairs. I have to look and
Okay.
see.
So that one is,
Cause I tried to make sure if one of them was not in the right place. It was under, capital, so I tried to move them to
Yeah.
the lease.
yeah, I remember, I think we did that. Okay. Alright, so, any discussion on precinct 4? You're buying 2 new vehicles?
2 new leases. I'm not doing the used deal again, because I'm not any good at it.
What do you mean you're not any good at it?
Well, we got one from the sheriff's department, or somebody did, that I inherited. Just got through putting new heads on it for $5,000 something. Another used vehicle we had, sitting in there knocking. The rod sounded like the rods were about to come to it. It's a 2004 model. Does not pick up. I'm having issues with it already, and it was used. So no warranty.
Right, okay. Alright, any further discussion on precinct 4?
would you at least try to find a good one, now, used one for
Oh yeah, we'll look. If we can find one that's got some warranty.
Of course, the used vehicle prices I've seen, there ain't much difference.
Okay, is there any other part of the budget you wanna go over? Cause that is the end. Okay, proposed budget goes out on July 28th. And what that's gonna include is everything that's been discussed in this room, nothing different. It's, if the tax rate, over 3.5% is an automatic election. However, we do still have time to work on it if it does end up being over that 3.5% to make any changes. August 1st, we'll take the record vote and hopefully we'll have, all our numbers in and available by then. And then August 15th, we should be having a public hearing setting the tax rate.
We're taking out record vote on August 1st, not August 8th.
Maybe it is August 8th, I don't remember. What was
Does your
the,
tax code say that 8th or soon after, or is it the 1st, or the 7th?
The numbers have to be to you by the 7th.
Yeah, so I think
Okay.
we put on the calendar August 8th for the record.
I didn't look at the calendar this morning. All right.
I don't have my
All
calendar
right,
with
so
me
August
downstairs, but I
8th.
do believe it's.
Yes, so yeah.
Because
you're-
the numbers.
You're both right. I
Which,
appreciate
I
that.
mean, Senate Bill 2 has put a big crunch on
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff, so
Yeah, the time.
I don't even have numbers yet. I mean, today's the last day, but it's as soon thereafter as
Right,
practical, so.
And
But I don't have numbers, I mean, I don't have the certified values yet.
right.
I have that sheet for you
Okay.
filled out, so I'll bring it down.
Okay.
So today is not the deadline.
Well, today is the deadline, but
It
it's,
says or soon
it says
thereafter.
or soon there as,
Okay.
after as
That's what the
practice.
statute says.
Yeah, it's a deadline, but not a deadline.
It's a deadline, but Senate Bill 2, I mean, it just got signed
Mhm.
yesterday it was like 5 or 4 something yesterday.
Mhm.
I got an email that it was signed. So,
Okay.
I mean, it puts the kink in all the, which
Well,
it's
that's
mainly
one-
school.
Yeah.
I was gonna
It's
say,
mainly
is it going
school.
to affect for
$100,000
January 1st?
exemption.
Well, it is, but the way I have to calculate
Yeah,
as
it'd be
if
for
it
that.
was passed. Because that's the way they worded the bill.
On the 2025 budget, if it was to be effective for that, or if it was gonna be effective for the 20.
It'll take effect for 24 budget, or 24 tax.
That's what I was wondering.
Actually, 23 tax,
24
24 budget.
Correct.
I hate the year
Yeah.
difference. Cause y'all are doing 24 budget, but I'm doing 23 tax.
Where they set the 23
Yes.
tax rate.
Right. There was discussion of the appraisal having a cap of 5% increase each year. Do you know if that was in?
I believe that passed,
Yes.
but I don't believe that it's not in
Not in
effect
effect this
for
year.
right now.
Okay.
Cause
That would-
they
Because I
already
think
had
it's a January,
Cause they already had their appraisal values
yes,
in.
the
Right.
values, I mean, they had to, it has to be certified today supposedly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that, there was no way
No,
that could take effect.
That would take months to.
But I believe that is going in for,
January.
January 1 of 24, I believe.
So it'll be on the 2024 tax rate.
It'll be the 24.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else to discuss on the budget?
Probably not till we get the numbers.
It'll be posted, by the end of the day on the 28th, the proposed budget, which includes everything that we've gone over. So, no changes to. what
So
we
can
did
you
before.
email me this afternoon, anything that was changed? And then I will update it in the budget manager and then send the document that we post on there.
Okay, yeah, the only thing that won't be changed on here is the youth center, salaries there, because that was included. So, okay. All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
All in favor? Thank you all.
Thanks.